I love to make the outline because then I see all the stuff we talked about last week.
Yeah.
While I do it.
I love you to make us wait while you do the outline.
And welcome to Way Too Broad, a show and tell program for really, really ridiculously excited grown-ups. I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Hello, Hannah. Hello, Ben.
What's up, idiots?
This week is one of the special weeks where we're talking about our obsessions in the same order that we get introduced. Exciting.
Oh.
Is that a dog I hear?
Yeah, that's Henry. The male FedEx truck just pulled in to our freshly leaf-blown driveway, and now Henry's barking. This is terrible. This is terrible audio landscape, or a bustling one. A bustling fall Saturday morning at Brownton Abbey.
Yeah, it's really like a whole thing over there.
It's a whole production at my home now, at my homestead. Thing. It's quite the whole thing. I hope Molly sees that FedEx truck and doesn't get hit by it. Oh my god, she's so close to the driveway right now. Okay, I'm sorry.
Waiting with bated breath. Is she good?
She's good. She's
all right. Good. Okay. Let's do what are we drinking?
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Spindrift. Oh, it's disappearing. Oh. Half tea, half lemon.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
That's so good. I had one of those for the first time in a long time recently, and like did that thing where you take a sip and then you like look at the can. And you're like, this is good.
Like in the commercials.
Yeah, exactly.
Erin, what are you drinking?
I've got ice water and a cup of black coffee. I was hoping I have an order for delivery of those soul lattes I talked about in a few episodes ago. Mm-hmm. Shout out to James from On the Corner Mobile Coffee. He has a holiday version that's a cinnamon soul latte. Shout out to my friend Sam for recommending it to me. I have those coming today. I was hoping they'd arrive in time, but they haven't. So
you haven't had a latte?
I haven't had a latte. Normally I'll go out on a Saturday and get myself one, but I'm holding out for the soul lattes today.
Mm. Yep. Baby Ben, what are you drinking?
I got 3 small cups of ice water because Kylie and I have both been working a lot this week, and neither of us had time to do the dishes, so we basically had no dishes.
Do you have a dishwasher?
Yes.
Okay.
But we didn't have time to put them in there.
Yeah, that's okay.
So our sink was chock full of them.
Oh. Did you do, and that was what you were doing this morning, reclaiming your kitchen?
Yes.
Molly and I were in that state on, what was it, Thursday night? And because just like the week has just been so crazy that our kitchen was a nightmare. And so we spent some time Thursday night cleaning it, and I was like, this feels like we're getting our life back.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Does that feel like that to you?
Yeah, I also cleaned out the fridge a little bit. Feels like you're getting,
that's
getting
good
your life
shit.
back. It's good shit.
When you clean out your fridge, you like got your life back, and you're like a career change, right? Like that's that feel. Like you've enrolled in some community college classes. Like, that's that feel. That's fresh.
Yeah. That's fresh to death. Yeah, it's funny that you guys mentioned cleaning because I woke up. So I don't know if you can. Hold on, please.
Okay.
Holding.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I am all dressed up today for no reason, and I told you I would tell you why on the podcast, and there's not a great explanation for it, but I woke up this morning like an hour before my alarm, having slept just 5 minutes short of 8 hours, which like never happens, and I
Because you're usually more than 8 hours or less?
Less.
Okay.
I usually stay up too late. And I did, but it's Saturday, so I was able to sleep in a little bit. So I woke up and immediately I was like, I need to sweep all the floors in this house. I need to get all the boxes folded up. I need to put them in the recycling because we've had a lot of deliveries and stuff. And we leave the boxes down for the cats, but they only care about them for like a day or two, and then they never look at them again. So I was like, I need to get rid of all these boxes. I need to clear the floor. I need to sweep, and that's just what needs to happen right now. And before I even had like coffee, I was like, and before Ian was even awake, I was just like cleaning the house, which like never ever happens. And then Ian woke up. And he was, like, at exactly the opposite, like, frequency that I was in, like, morning mode. And so, like, the very first thing he did was take a Halloween decoration out of the trash that I had thrown away because he wanted to keep it. And it's made of paper. And I was like, this is not going to last a year. Like, you need to throw this away. And I was like, where are you going to put it? And then he hung it off of the ceiling fan in the living room and then turned on the fan just for fun. He was just being a goof.
Wow.
I was so angry because I was like, not in that mode. I was in like business cleaning mode. And then, yeah, when I went to get dressed after we had like cleaned the whole floor and vacuumed and stuff, I was like, I'm gonna wear this red dress. And then I was like in the bathroom and I was like, I'm gonna put on, I didn't put on makeup, but I'm gonna put on jewelry and stuff. And I did. And so now I'm wearing like a red dress I wear to fancy occasions, like belted and everything, with like this like sparkly necklace and these huge like fluffy earrings. And then I even put earrings in my second holes. These are like little rocket ships just because I felt like it. So that's
I'm loving it.
That's where I'm at today.
I'm loving your vibe today.
Thank you.
You're just like business for Hannah. Not business for work. Business for Hannah. Getting your life together. Dressing up. Feeling good and fresh. I'm loving it.
I do want to clean the fridge too. I've been talking about that. We'll see if that happens. It could happen today. Anything could happen today. Today is a weird day for me.
The world is your oyster. I want to, speaking of that, I had a random, like, hair in me yesterday, and so instead of my normal, like, kind of sweatpants, braless t-shirt, I want to show you my look from yesterday. This is me feeling myself in my, I call it Professor Lesbian look. This is my Professor Lesbian Luke from yesterday. It was actually nice. It was nice because I had a couple, like, meetings that I wanted to look a little nicer for, but I only really had to match from like chest up, which is something I really enjoy about work meetings, actually.
Yeah. Very swanky. I love the sandals, speaking of.
The Birkenstocks really tie the look together. I don't really wear anything else these days. I need to get a winter pair of Birkenstocks.
You look great though. Good job. Wow.
Thanks. Professor Lesbian at your service.
Yeah. Your hair looks good too. I know it's longer than you like it, but
thanks. Yeah, I did cut the sides myself.
You did? Oh, good job.
The other day. This week. I don't even know what days it is. Thursday.
So this is, I guess, the period of quarantine where we just start feeling ourselves because what else are we going to do?
I think it's like the stage of grief or whatever. We're coming into the acceptance and thriving portion of it, maybe. I think it's good that it started out in like spring and summer to have like, because now that the days are getting shorter, I feel like if I had been in the same mental state I was in the beginning, in this like, you know, temperature and daylightness, it would have been a lot harder. That's just speaking for myself. I don't know. You feel?
It's like, you know, I think it's like, I know people are coping differently in different ways and stuff, and like, I certainly don't think everyone's thriving right now, but, and I wouldn't even say I'm thriving, but like, I do think like the little things start to be more meaningful, like, and you find more little things to, like, at first it was all like finding distractions, and now it's like, how do I make my whole existence like just a little brighter on a moment to moment basis? Like like I've talked about my like weird holo taco obsession recently, which I thought would go away. Like that's the nail polish brand that I wear all the time. But instead I've continued to accumulate more and more of it. I actually have another shipment coming like on Monday probably of more colors of nail polish. And it's like just this consistent joy for me to like play with like what's on my nails. And now I don't like to not have my nails painted anymore. And it's like a stress management,
you don't like
but
to
also
not have your nails painted.
Yeah, I don't like to not have my nails painted. Yeah. Okay, oh, what did I say?
I thought I heard you say I don't like to have my nails painted anymore, and I was like a weird hobby for somebody. But no, maybe I misheard. No,
I don't like. My nails are all like mostly naked on one hand right now, and I don't like it. But I don't want to paint them again because I'm waiting for my new colors to come in, and it's bugging me. So it's like weird how quickly I turn that corner. But it's just like this. Like every time I catch a glimpse of them, all painted and looking nice, and like I get better at it every time I do it, I feel it just like makes my day just like that much nicer, which is like worth it at this point in time, you know.
I do really put thriving in air quotes when I say it. It's like in relation, you know, within scale, in pandemic scale, thriving, you know, for sure.
Ben, what are you doing to make your weeks a little brighter?
Nothing.
Oh. That sounds about right.
Should be doing more.
They talked about this on Reply All a couple weeks ago. They had like, I forget what the episode was about, but in their like opening thing, they were talking about like...
It's about the hedonometer.
Oh, yeah. They were talking about the hedonometer, which is like this thing that uses basically like aggregated words from everyone who's tweeting on Twitter to figure out how happy, like what scale of happy or sad society is as a whole at the moment. And like 2020 has been just like tanking the hedonometer line the entire time with like some ups and downs. And so the whole episode's about that, and it's really cool. But they were talking about like Alex was talking about his wife and how she just like does things like he was like, she just puts lemon in her water every day because she just likes lemon in her water. And that was like to both of them like this fascinating thing to do, although they recognize that at the same time a lot of people do things like that. But like being able to find like those little moments to just like do something you enjoy for no other reason than that you enjoy it, or it makes your life a little brighter, it goes a long way. I think you should be doing it more, Ben.
Yeah. How can we encourage you to make your life a little brighter on the daily, Ben? I mean, he has 3 cups of water today. That's big.
That's 3 cups. 3 whole cups. What else do I need?
You do hydrate, and that's very good.
That's good.
It's
we
true.
Like that.
I'm a hydrator.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. You know, we're not going to solve it.
Think about it. Think about it.
We don't have any emails. I did check that, and it's not a thing.
We actually don't have an email account anymore. Did check that. It's not a thing anymore.
Google shut it off because we wouldn't stop emailing them.
That's my bad. I do apologize. I think she's all done leaf blowing. Look at her go. Nope. Never mind.
Wow, she's past the...
She's past her. She doesn't give a fuck about that deadline.
So, yeah, if you can hear the leaf blowing, I can't hear it at all right now, but I also couldn't hear it when I was editing last week. Yeah. Sorry, it'll pass.
Yeah. She's just, listen, that's the sound of somebody following their dreams. That's somebody chasing down their passions right there.
That's right. She's finding her joy, and her joy is with the leaf blower.
Yeah, she's cultivating her daily joy on this beautiful fall day and doing a much-needed chore. So, I thank you.
Wow, what is it about this backdrop that makes my hair look pink and purple? Ooh, look at that.
It's the pink and purpleness in the background.
Should I do that? I don't know.
Yeah, why not? Why the fuck not?
I don't want to bleach it, though, is the problem.
You could do, like, the overtone stuff to make it, like, a little, you know.
I don't know
you should definitely keep making that face.
You can also do, like,
face.
the Toblerone stuff.
Did you say Toblerone?
Yeah.
Excuse me? Like, is that the cookie?
The cookie?
It's a chocolate.
It's a candy bar.
The candy? Wait, Can you catch me up?
I think Ben was connecting the dots. Yeah, between Overtone.
I'm sorry. I gotta drink this coffee faster. That was such a funny joke, and I ruined it.
Oh, I have an upfront thing. Because this is actually the first time we've recorded since the election was called. I mean, we technically were the second decision desk to call the election for Biden. But it's crazy to think that the last time that we recorded together, which was a week and a day ago on a Friday night, the election had not yet been called. And now it feels like it's been forever because the president won't concede. And you know what? Let's make a call again. The president is going to concede. He's not going to concede, but he's going to concede. Huh?
He's not going to concede. That's definitely true.
He's never going to concede.
No.
Perhaps this week he'll give up on his fucking stupid lawsuits because they're going nowhere.
I feel like my prediction is he won't concede. He probably won't give up on the lawsuits. Like, he won't drop them, but I think he'll slowly start letting the transition stuff happen until Biden's just fully transitioned. The lawsuits are just going to quietly drop, and he's, like, quietly going to move out, or, like, not quietly. Like, I just feel like he's not going to do anything except try to let it fade into the background.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
Ben, what's your prediction?
We're a trusted decision desk. We gotta let our listeners know.
I hope that the Secret Service has to drag him kicking and screaming out of the White House like the giant baby that he is.
Yeah. +1.
Yeah. Yep. I've been watching a lot of videos from this astrology expert on TikTok. She reads people's charts, like political figures and public figures. She called the election like a month ago. She was like, there's this like eclipse thing that usually happens, almost always happens for someone when they win the presidency. It's in Biden's chart for 2020 and it's in Kamala's chart for 2020, but it is not in Trump's chart. And she was like, yeah, he's going to lose. But now she's like saying that the day that the Electoral College meets is like a huge event day. It's like the same eclipse that Trump was born under is happening on the day that the Electoral College like does the numbers, which means some sort of big downfall surrounding him. So I'm imagining and hoping that means his downfall, not, the whole establishment.
When does the Electoral College meet?
December 13th, I think.
Okay. That's not Friday, is it?
December 14th.
Okay. It's not Friday, is it?
That's not Friday, is it?
It's the Monday after the second Wednesday in December. Apparently that's the way the law is written.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So confusing.
Is that a riddle?
The second Wednesday?
Yeah.
Your mom is the second Monday after the second Wednesday.
Nice.
I don't know. Okay.
Brown.
Cool. Well, all our predictions then will come true.
Great. Excited to see it. You love to see it.
You love to see it. So, let's see. What other upfront things? Erin, have you gotten Spirit Fairy yet?
No, ma'am.
Ben, have you watched Blind Manor?
No, but I did Escape from Hell.
Oh, good job.
Hey, congrats. Does that mean you win? You win?
It is, that is a spoiler question.
In a way, yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ian has also done that. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But it's a cool game. Good game.
I'm still, I'm trying to have a good discipline about one game at a time, and I'm still churning my way through Hollow Knight, which I played most of last weekend, most of Sunday, and then I took Monday off and played most of Monday. So I'm still slowly but surely marching my way through that one.
I love that game.
Just keeps getting bigger, so I don't have any sense of when that's gonna.
How are you enjoying it?
I'm very much enjoying it. I have. What are your moral? I know where I stand on this, but just curious for you two video game players, looking stuff up just to be like, oh, I found this key. I know I saw a door somewhere. Where the fuck was that? I
don't give a shit about looking things up.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. This is my personal time. Excuse me, this is my personal time.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not here to suffer.
Yeah, if it's something that's... So I would say it's not my first, like, thing I'll do. Like, but if it's something that if I'm stuck on something, or if I feel like I'm supposed to be making a connection I'm not making, like, I have no qualms.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's exactly
I think there's a lot of stuff in Hollow Knight, because the story of it is very much like figure it out yourself, kind of. Mm-hmm. It's not like right in your face. And there are a lot of other things where like it can be hard to figure it out if you don't kind of already know what's going on in the world.
And it's so big, and there's like areas, you just comb over the same areas, and you're like, okay, here's the thing I can't get to yet. So I'm supposed to have something, and I can't do it yet. But then it's like the world is so big, I'm like, I don't even know where to fucking get this thing, because it could be anywhere, right? So, or it could be a thing I haven't found yet, because some things you find just by happening to like find a little crevice, and then it's like, oh, I've just unlocked this whole huge thing. So yeah, I'm not being defensive.
You're being defensive.
You're being defensive. Yeah, so that's cool. That's chill. So, which is to say, I think Spiritfarer is probably next on my list, TBH. But it'll be a while. A TBD.
TBD. I have an announcement, speaking of video games, for Upfronts.
What's up?
Loyal listeners may remember back in episode 150, he's going to have a talking to at you. That I talked about my friend Matt and his new Twitch channel, Matty Nice 87, as my obsession. He was doing, at the time, I think, one stream a week with his daughter, and they were playing Pokemon, and they're still doing that on Fridays. And then they're now doing, it's like kind of like a Stardew Valley type game. I don't know if he always plays this game, but on Tuesday, like 5:30 or so, he's doing a stream with his son, Linus, where they like do like kind of a Stardew Valley type game, but it's a little bit more kid oriented. Not that Stardew Valley is really inappropriate or anything, but I think they've played through a lot of it together already, so it's just like a different one. And then also on Tuesday nights, starting next week, so should be starting the 17th of November, we're going to be streaming with Matt. So we have to do kind of like some testing and make sure that it works. But the plan is to start it this coming Tuesday and do it every week. On like Tuesday night after their kids go to bed, so like 8 or so, and we're gonna take turns picking what game we stream. So they gave us first pick. So on Tuesday we're gonna be playing Wander Song with them. We're not planning on playing like co-op games. We might eventually, but right now the plan is like Matt's gonna play the game, whatever the game is, and we're gonna all kind of like help him solve puzzles and just like talk about it. So we're trying to pick games that the other couple like either hasn't played or hasn't played in a while, or at least there's someone in the stream who hasn't played it before, so that we can like have some like fun surprise and delight journeys and solve puzzles together and fun stuff like that. So I'm really excited for them to see Wander Song. I think they're gonna like it a lot, and I'm excited to see it again.
I totally forgot about the game and just re-added it, or just added it to my wish list.
It's great. It's great, and it's also like, you know, for someone like I was wondering, Ben, do you also only play one game at a time?
Usually, if it's like a story-driven game, yeah, or like I now that I guess this is getting into spoilery territory. Generally, yes, but I'm also like not super strict about it. I was thinking about this weekend possibly streaming some either Hades or Hollow Knight, or maybe both.
That'd be cool.
Because that might be fun.
Yeah, please do.
And I'm thinking about replaying Hollow Knight because I really like it a lot. It's a good game.
What was I going to say, though? There was a reason I asked that. Oh, because Wandersong is, like, it's not a terribly long game, so if you're someone who does like to play through one game before you go to the next, it's, like, a nice, it's a nice game for that, because it's, like, it doesn't go on forever. I personally will play as many games as I want at one time, and everyone can.
I think that's great. It's your free time, you know what I mean?
It's my free time. I can Google things. I can play different games. That's it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, she can do what she wants.
Sometimes I'll watch TV and have one headphone playing some video on my phone, and I have it picture-in-picture, so I'm also on Twitter, and maybe I'm also playing a game. And that's what I want. That's what I want to do with my free time.
I have been really enjoying audiobook or podcast while playing a game. Another thing I'll say about Hollow Knight, you know what I meant to mention, is that it's the sound is really important. Maybe this happens in a lot of video games, but like I was playing, I think, without the sound while I was watching a show, and then I went back through the same area and like discovered a bunch of stuff because like you need to be listening to it. So.
That's interesting from an accessibility standpoint. I wonder if they have any like workarounds for deaf people and stuff.
Oh yeah. They do.
Yeah, maybe. One of the really cool things about Wandersong is that it is very sound driven. It's like all the controls and puzzles and stuff are managed through singing and colors, but they also involve symbols and directions so that people who are colorblind or deaf can have a way to engage with it as well. So it's cool. All right, should we pop in?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, I'm first. Oh no. But what shall I talk about? All right. So
is this first time you're thinking about that?
I had like two ideas, and I can only remember one right now, so I guess I'll talk about that. Okay, so I don't remember if I've mentioned this podcast on the I was about to call this a stream, so that's interesting.
It was a meeting last week. Yeah. And now it's a stream. When we were listening to last week's episode in the kitchen, when you called it a meeting, I laughed it out loud.
I laughed it out loud.
I laughed it out loud, even though I was there. It was so funny to me once again.
I'm glad I could do that for you.
So what haven't you mentioned on the stream?
I don't know if I've mentioned it on the stream before, that I really like the podcast called Qanon Anonymous. Does that sound familiar?
It doesn't sound familiar.
Okay. So
I like the energy of that podcast name, though.
Yeah, me too.
So I have an interesting. I have for a while had like worries about QAnon. Like it's been, so for anyone who doesn't know what QAnon is, back in 2017 was when it started. It started on 4chan boards. There was on the it's like called /Paul, like politics, and it was like overrun with like rabid Trump supporters, especially at that time. I think it's been removed from 4chan now, but I'm not sure. And yeah,
it's on 8kun.
8kun. It's what it's on now.
Wow.
It moved from 4chan to 8chan, and then 8chan also. Actually, you're right. Those websites 4chan and 8chan don't exist at all anymore, right?
No, 4chan does. 8chan doesn't.
So I think they were removed from 4chan. They went to 8chan, and then I think 8chan got like all the like services that were hosting that website like dropped them, so they like don't exist anymore because it was so toxic and dangerous.
On account of all the white nationalist shooters who posted their manifestos there.
Yes, right, exactly. And then the guy who like owned 8chan started a new website like a year or so later called 8kun, and you can hear some of the stuff about that guy. I mean, he's been in the news a lot recently because a lot of people theorize that if he isn't QAnon, or if he isn't Q himself, then he is like managing who is doing Q posts. There's a Reply All episode about it. There's like a lot of reporting recently. So I'm not going to get like that deep into it because it's not really what my obsession is. But basically it started on these like like they're not dark websites, but they're like sites where people post anonymously and say a lot of incredibly racist, horrid stuff, and like make a lot of bullshit predictions and kind of do a lot of LARPing about like who they are that is completely fake. Like it actually was totally a thing before Q came about, that people would come on and say they were insiders in different parts of the government, and that they would like say things that were gonna happen. I'm using like heavy air quotes around all this. And then none of it ever came to pass, but people would just, it's just people like to go and speculate like conspiracy theory shit. Like no one's immune to it. It feels good in your brain. I've talked about it before in more harmless ways, right? So like this guy showed up in the person showed up in 4chan at first and started saying he called himself Q because they called themselves Q because they had Q level clearance, supposedly, air quotes again, which is like the highest level of clearance in the government. And they started saying the first thing they started posting about was like how Hillary Clinton was going to be arrested in like April of 2017. But then like that obviously didn't happen. So they started just like making up more and more stuff. And they post since then. They've done like I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 drops of various types, and it's like Nostradamus level vague. Like they just like write like short snippets of text that are supposed to be like clues or quote unquote crumbs for people to pick up and like figure out what they mean. And the basic message being that like actually everybody who's in power, mostly Democrats, but even some Republicans, and all the wealthy in the world and stuff, they're all like this huge cabal of evil satanic pedophiles, and there's like all this crazy shit. Like Pizzagate came out of the QAnon sphere and was like big in like building up the following for the QAnon sphere. A lot of the people who are driven to attack places like Comet Pizza or things like that don't actually, there's not really any reason to attack them, are driven by like QAnon theories. And so I've been like watching this for a while, and I've been like, I do not want to go where these people are, but I want to understand why they think these things and like what they think specifically, because it's like most people have like a pretty surface level understanding of like what their belief system is, and it's largely because their belief system is very like inclusive and just kind of grabs any conspiracy theory that it can roll into itself. So it's always changing. Like it never stays the same for very long. So when I found this podcast, I was just delighted because there are these three. It was started by two of them, but now there's three hosts. Their names are Jake Rockatansky, Julian Fields, and a third one whose name I can't remember.
And the other one. So good.
And they've just been really watching this whole thing happen for years. Like they've been making this podcast for a long time, and they watch the Q drops, and they're in when there were like hundreds of Facebook groups, that they've recently cleared out a lot of those on Facebook, very recently. But for a long time, there were a lot of Facebook groups that were posting like all kinds of like Q related memes, and they're even like, they're not afraid to go into the 8kun boards and stuff and like look what people are saying. They're just like deep in it without being believers of any kind. And so they really like, on a week-to-week basis, they give you like the latest news of what's happening in the world of QAnon. It's especially exploded this year as people like, once the lockdown started and all these COVID conspiracies, a lot of those are coming out of QAnon circles. Obviously, all of the election fraud stuff. Like once you start looking for it, you can see either like Q signs or like the number 17 a ton in like any group of Republican protesters, because largely the people who are being driven out into the streets to protest over election fraud are people who believe in at least some of the like QAnon theories. Because the other thing that's happening now that it's like growing and expanding and bringing in all these other types of conspiracies, like the Wayfair thing that happened recently, they're changing their messaging. So they're talking less about QAnon and they're talking more about like quote unquote save the children or save our children. If you see those going around, those memes about like how child trafficking is really rampant in the US, like none of that is backed up by any actual research, quite honestly.
Listen to You're Wrong About.
Listen to You're Wrong About. Yes, they've done, Michael Hobbs is very vocal about it, which I appreciate so much. And he's been on this show, actually, to talk about just that. But like
this show,
yeah, he's been on QAnon and
this stream,
this show. Wait,
he's been
in this meeting.
He's been on QAnon Anonymous to talk about it. Not this stream.
QAnon Anonymous.
QAnon Anonymous.
Cuba Baba Baba.
So I just really appreciate it because, like, the first thing that I worry about whenever it's like crazy. The first thing I worry about now, whenever anything happens in the news, is like, how is the Q community gonna twist this to their to fit their narrative? Because they always will. Like, no matter what's happening, no matter what Trump does, no matter how the election goes, as we're seeing, like, they'll find a way to, if it's bad, they'll blame it on the cabal and they'll say they have to go fight back. And if it's good, then, or if it's neutral, then or if it's Trump saying something like wacky or tweeting a fucking typo like he does every week, that's all code and secret. And like everything that he does is very intentional, and it's to save all the children and stuff. And so a lot of people are getting roped into Q theories, not even realizing that what they're looking at is QAnon. They're thinking that, like, people are just trying to, they had all these rallies recently that they called Save the Children rallies, and until you got there, you wouldn't hear a word about, like, QAnon or cabals or anything. It was just like people would tweet fake child trafficking statistics and be like, do you believe that children shouldn't be trafficked? Come to this rally, that's all we're talking about. And then you get there and it's like, you know, just
freaking Cuba Bomba Bombas.
Yeah. Yeah. So they go to those too. Like, they go to the rallies. They've gone to a lot of those rallies and interviewed a lot of, like, the figureheads that are popular in the QAnon community right now. They went to the protests at the Maricopa County ballot place. You know, how people were out there yelling, "Count the votes." And most of those people were, like, believers in QAnon. There's this guy called the Q Shaman who shows up to, like, everything on the West Coast. And he has, like, this big headdress, and he never wears a shirt. And he just shows up at all of the protests for QAnon. And he was there. Like, Alex Jones was there talking about, like, the COVID hoax and stuff. Like, they covered all of it. They had, like, an hour and a half long Patreon episode. So I just really appreciate it because it saves me, like, a fuckload of time and energy thinking about it, because I know that whatever is going on in that world, I'm going to hear about it in, like, a clear and concise way from these people. And they do a really good job, because the thing is, like, QAnon is legitimately a cult. It's a cult. It's not a religious cult. Well, it kind of is. Like, it's very, very linked to Christianity and God and stuff, but it's a literal cult. And, like, everybody went from the outside, when you look at the things that cults believe, you don't think you could be duped into that. And, like, a lot of people take this stance of, like, wow, those people are just completely unhinged. And it's not really true. Like, anybody can be susceptible to these things. I mean, obviously some people more than others, but, like, under the right circumstances, with the right set of pre-existing beliefs in your mind, like, without some sort of critical media analysis skills that are not that easy to come by these days. Like, anybody could be sucked into like a brainwash of this type, and they do a pretty good job, I think, of, like, reporting on the facts and remaining completely skeptical on them, while also not treating these people like dirt, you know. They still, like, recognize their humanity, which I think is good, because it's like, you never will convince I mean, they're not really trying to convince people to not be in QAnon anymore or whatever, but, like, you never will convince people if the only media that's out there about them that's not from inside is, like, incredibly hostile. So
yeah.
So I think that's good too. So I'm actually subscribed to their Patreon, because they put out an episode free every week, and then they put out a Patreon episode, and I've listened to their whole back catalog, and they cover, like, a whole range of topics. Obviously a lot of on the ground reporting recently, but I just really like them. So I think if that's something that you've been thinking about and trying to understand more and trying to figure out, like, what the resources are that go in depth, they're a really good one. And people are starting to recognize that they're starting to show up as interviewed resources in, like, you know, New York Times articles about QAnon and stuff like that. So people are starting to recognize them as experts on the topic, and they're not wrong that they are experts. So check them out if you want to.
I'm glad that resource exists for you. That sounds like perfect for exactly like what, delving into it in a kind of, I don't know, sane way. Mm-hmm. Is that a good way to put it? Just like that you don't get lost or frustrated. You kind of have a guide through this like weird world.
Yeah, because otherwise it would be like having to go watch. Like there's a lot of people making videos that are like spreading QAnon theories on YouTube and like streaming about it and stuff like that. Like there's a huge sort of media ecosystem about it. And so if I was trying to like try to wrap my head around what they believe by actually listening to them directly, that would be like a lot more time and a whole lot more like mental energy and stress.
And like contributing to views and, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, and not healthy, like getting lost in the comments and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I would not like that at all. So,
yeah,
it's a good resource. Check it out if you want. I wouldn't say like if it's not something that is on your mind a lot already, maybe don't, because it will be after you listen to it. But if you are like me about it and you have been looking for something like this, I would highly recommend it.
Good session.
Thank you.
Good little session. Is that one of the podcasts you'll listen to while you're watching a TV show and PIP, Twitter, YouTube, and video game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ian doesn't understand how I function.
I don't either.
You have a high... Ooh, my coffees are here, you guys.
Ooh. Do you want to go get it for your...
Well, he's got to, like, walk down the whole driveway and drop him on the doorstep, and then I'll go grab him.
Okay. Because it's your turn right now.
Yeah, I'll just go. Take my turn.
Yeah, okay.
Just, like, go get my coffees. Okay, what's going on? My obsession is a little bit of a repeat, but it's not... So, in episode 4... of Way Too Broad, we talked about my favorite author, Sarah Waters. Hold on, I'm gonna get this. The name is not, we weren't coming up with fun names at that time. Let's see here. What? Personality test. Anybody else say that when they're waiting? Personality test, Sarah Waters Engineering Senior Project. Wow. Throwback. That was on the 24th of September 2017.
Wow.
Do you remember the 24th night of September 2017?
So I talked about Sarah Waters in general as my favorite author. So she is, and my obsession this week is that I'm rereading one of her best books called Fingersmith. Is this ringing a bell?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember
cool.
thinking that name was funny, and I still do.
Yeah. And I think I probably had this anecdote. I'll just retell it because it's been a while. We can safely recycle this episode from like 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Or this content is that when I went to my local bookstore, this dates me, right? I went inside this local bookstore and like talked to a person. I was like, "Excuse me, I'm looking for the book Fingerlings by Sarah Waters," and they were like, "Fingerlings? Do you mean Fingersmith?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, Fingersmith. That's the name." So anyway, I'm rereading it. It's kind of nice and seasonal. It's like it's a little spooky, and it's just a damn good book. It's a damn fine read. And so, I'm going to get my coffee here in a second. I won't really get into the plot because there's just so much to it. But, yeah, I don't have too much more to say. So I would say, so after I'm done reading this, I'm probably going to also rewatch. There's 2 kind of good movies made from this book. There is, I'm getting like mad notifications. There's a BBC miniseries called Fingersmith that's really good. It has what's her face, Sally something in it.
Fields.
Hold on. Sally Fields.
Really?
No, not Sally Fields. No. Hold on. The lady who was in the Academy Award winner movie.
Sally
Shape of Water.
Fields.
There's been a lot of those. So
Yeah, that one. You know, that one. Sally Hawkins has her in it. Is that right?
Sally Hawkins.
It has Sally Hawkins in it.
I don't know this person.
The Fingersmith BBC miniseries is great, and then there's also a movie called The Handmaiden, which is a 2016 film by it's a Korean film. Anyway, I talked all about this, but it was so long ago.
Sounds familiar.
Check all those things out. That's the only thing I'm doing. Is I'm reading Fingersmith and working at my job, okay? What do you want from me?
So are you also going to rewatch those movies?
Yes, I am.
But you haven't yet.
I haven't yet. I haven't rewatched them yet.
Bird outside.
That's where they live,
Oh
Hannah.
my god, there's 2 of them. Wow.
There's more than one outside.
There's more than 2 even.
Yeah.
What? No, there's only 2.
Can I?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go fetch my coffees because maybe that'll be my new obsession. Hold on.
Oh my god, there's another one. Wow,
Oh my god.
oh, it's so cute. It went away. Did you see my story in Marco Polo yesterday?
No.
Jack did such a good job ruining a puzzle I was working on that I just gave up and put it away. Because he was on it, so I was keeping them off of it. At one point I sat back in my chair and I had my footrest up, so my footrest was under the table, and I sat back to just oh, Erin's back already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't make it. I just fetched it from my front porch.
I think of your house as so big that I assumed you'd be gone for 5 full minutes.
She just had to go around the corner and run down the stairs and come right back up.
Yeah, I've gotten very deft at moving quickly through my house.
Well, just to quickly finish my story, so I had just sat back actually to watch that villain video again that Kylie posted, and the minute I did, Jack went and just stood on top of my puzzle, and as I was moving to push him off of it, he noticed my slipper from underneath the table, and I'm pretty sure he thought it was part of a big animal, a dog or something, because he completely freaked out and remained freaked out for 20 minutes afterwards. But the initial freak out was he scramble jumped off of the table and in the process threw my entire puzzle that was 1/3 assembled onto me, just all over me and the floor and everywhere. And so
wow.
And so I screamed, and then he wouldn't come back in the living room for 20 minutes. He had his hat built up and everything. So
wow.
Yeah. Poor buddy.
You traumatized him.
He got scared of my slipper.
It's relatable. It happens to us all. I'm going to try the cinnamon soul latte. Ooh, looks good. It smells good.
Let's see how it is.
Oh, that's really nice.
Is it a subtle cinnamon or a heavy cinnamon?
It's a pretty heavy cinnamon. I'm just remembering that Sam recommended me to drink this hot.
Oh.
So maybe I'll drink half cold, half hot.
Did you only get one?
Warm. No, I've got another one.
Yeah, so you could do that too.
I could do that. That's a good idea.
Can you even believe it?
Can you even believe it?
Or maybe I'll just do half and half and half and half. That way I get more cold ones and more hot ones.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah. All the birds are gone, so I guess you couldn't continue.
Yeah, well, I don't have much more to say. It's kind of a repeat, but it's a great book. It's got a huge twist in it. You just don't see it coming. And then, is that even the last twist? I don't even know. I can't even say. And it's gay, of course. If I didn't mention that, of course it is. Sarah Waters. She wrote one non-gay book. She has one book that's not gay. But it's great. And
How dare she?
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing. But her latest book, I take heart because her latest book, which is from a while ago now, is gay. So I feel like that was just like a quick thing that she was doing.
It was just a phase.
It was just a phase. And then now she's back on track. Cool. So I'm checking it on a website. I wonder if there's like any announcements of like new books. News.
Books.
What has she been doing?
News. Books.
Yeah, she's not. She doesn't seem like she's been writing anything.
What have any of us been doing? Really?
That's true. All right, that's all I have to say about that. Check it out. Great book. She's an amazing writer.
Awesome.
She's probably a good reader, too.
Oh, I bet she is. She actually does a shit ton of research for her books. All her books are set in like the 1800s, and she does it. I know that she does like a extreme amount of research for all of them. So that's really interesting.
All right, so you know how Beethoven or something, like, he was a great composer, but he was deaf. Mm-hmm. That's something I've heard, right? So setting aside,
that's not something that he heard.
Setting aside ghost-written books, do you think anyone has ever written a book who cannot read? Somehow.
What?
Yeah, probably like dictating.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
So like if you dictated it, but it was all in your words, I feel like that would count.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google.
Because like Mark Twain, I'm sure could read, but I feel like his method was he would compose it in his head and then just like say it and dictate it to somebody. I've read that.
Google.
Also Beethoven wasn't deaf his whole life.
Yeah.
Like
he went deaf later.
He
in his
went
life.
deaf later.
Do you think there's
like towards the
any famous
end.
writers who lost the ability to read later in life?
Has anyone written a book who couldn't read?
I googled illiterate authors.
That's a good one.
What did that get you?
There's a teacher who couldn't read.
Wait.
A writer who couldn't read. Here we go. NPR.
Also, I'm seeing something from abc.net.au. Ken Hall, an author from Hervey Bay, Queensland, has just completed his 9th book, but what is truly remarkable about this achievement is that Mr. Hall is illiterate. Huh.
Here's another one. I received a letter from Howard Engel, a Canadian novelist, describing a strange problem. On July 31st, he woke up, dressed, made breakfast, and then went to the front door to get his newspaper. I wasn't aware that it was different from any other morning, but it was. When he looked at the front page, the print on the page was unlike anything he had ever seen before. He lost his ability to read. He suffered a stroke, and it damaged the part of his brain we use when we read, so he couldn't make sense of letters or words.
Oh my god. So, everything does exist under the sun.
Yeah.
And I saw this, this is only related because of a stroke, I guess. But I saw a video of this girl who was having a really severe migraine. And because of it, she lost the ability to, she could speak, but the things that were coming out of her mouth made no sense. It's like a type of migraine that mimics the symptoms of a stroke. And she's had them for 2 years. Isn't that crazy? Weekly.
Sounds terrible.
Weekly she has them.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Brains are wild.
Yeah. Well, that's my obsession, so. Use your wild brain to read Fingersmith by Sarah Waters, please.
Use your wild brain.
Use your wild brain. Ben, what's your obsession?
Ben, what's your obsession?
It's sort of a tentative one.
Oh, I like that.
Because it's a show we're still watching and we just started. And I do like it, but I don't know if I'm obsessed with it yet.
Okay.
It's The Queen's Gambit.
Oh, tell me
I've
about
heard good
it.
things about this.
I also have, and I do really like it because it gives me... I talked about Chihaya Furu on this podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the one with the card games with the words, right?
Yeah, with poetry, with Japanese poetry. I'm not going to try to explain that again. But,
what episode was that in?
Ooh, good question.
Oh, good question. Everyone look it up. See who looks it up fastest.
Oh, gosh. How do you say it again?
I'm going to get there first because I know how to spell it. 30. You're a great busy boy. From April 1st, April Fool's Fool's episode in 2018.
How do you spell it again, though?
CHIHAYAFURU.
That second H.
Chihaya Furu.
Really threw us off.
And that... So, the scenes in this show... So, the show's about, like, a chess prodigy. It's all fictional, but I think some of the characters are based on real chess players. I don't fucking know. What am I supposed to do my research on this? Come on, fuck you. And it, like, takes you through her... I think it's technically a miniseries, so I don't know the point I'm making anymore. It's only, like, 7 episodes. And it takes you through, like, her childhood, how she learned to play chess, how she got extremely good at chess, how she got, like, thrown into national recognition for being very good at chess. And the parts of the show that are, like, her playing really intense chess matches give me, like, the same vibes as watching Chihaya Furu, where they're playing karata, and I don't quite know why it's so intense or exciting, but I'm still really into it. And it's, like, the same, except I understand chess more than I understand karata. But even then, like, they, like, make a move and there'll be, like, dramatic music, and I'm like, oh, that was important. But and it's not like you need to know or anything. It's just, like, it's really... I just like it. I do enjoy it a lot. The only reason I'm tentative is that it's like there are, like, a little bit tropey things, and there's one thing in particular from the latest episode that I don't want to, like, talk about explicitly because it's a spoiler, but Kylie and I are still kind of confused about what exactly happened, and it could potentially be, like, a weird and clumsily handled thing. So if you watch it, I think you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, the parts that are chess, I really enjoy a lot, which is a lot of it because she's obsessed with chess. And the child actor they had to play her, and, like, because basically almost the whole first episode is, like, her childhood, and the actor they have to play her as a child is really, really good. And the actor who's playing her as an adult is... I fucking forgot her name. I think it's Anya Taylor-Olsen. Is that it? Anya Taylor-Joy.
Sally Fields.
It's Sally Fields. Oh, she was in The Witch. The 2015
Sally Fields?
version of The Witch. Sally Fields.
The Vivitch? That one?
The Vivitch?
The Vivitch.
Oh.
The Vivitch. Not the Vitches.
Not the Vitches.
No, the Vivitch. I don't know if she's, like, the main Karak or what. I don't know anything about that movie. What else has she been in? I don't even know.
The movie was scary.
She's in Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders!
She was in... she was in... I didn't realize that was her.
The Lifetime Sally Fields story.
No, in Emma. That movie that came out this year. Emma. That's like a Jane Austen movie.
Yeah.
She played Emma.
Oh,
Emma.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, she's
really good.
Oh, looked so much younger in the Vivitch. She was one of the main characters. I mean, there's not that many characters in the Vivitch, but she was, like, one of the daughters. I think, like, the older daughter. Wow, she looks so different. Brown hair and red hair.
Did you watch Queen's Gambit, Anne?
No. I have been on the fence about it because I keep hearing people talk about it, and that especially that, like, the costuming is quite great.
Yeah, the costuming's cool.
But I don't know. I've just been on the fence about it, so maybe we'll try it out.
I kind of was too, and then, like, last night I was just like, hey, do you want to watch Queen's Gambit? And then we did it for a bit. And that's how it went.
Little.
Sometimes it just goes like that, you know?
Wow. Ben is taking control.
We watched Bake Off last night because Erin, you'll appreciate this as someone who's waiting to watch all of it. Ian has been seeing on his like social media headlines that he's been like hurriedly scrolling past because they appeared to be about Bake Off this week. And then after we watched it, I went back to look at what the headlines were, and this is kind of a spoiler, but it's not really.
No.
It's not really. Are you okay with it?
It can't be at all. Can you phrase it in a way that it's not at all?
The reason that there were headlines was because people were mad on Twitter because one of the contestants during the episode said that they don't like cheese.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's not a spoiler.
He's been like sidestepping those articles all week because he thought there was some big controversy on the episode.
Wow, that's beautiful. Bake Off is beautiful in that way. Like those are the type of headlines I need to be seeing in my feeds. Like, GOP stages a coup. Trump fires top Pentagon staff. This motherfucker doesn't like cheese. Can you believe the audacity? That's the good energy I want.
So beautiful.
That's great. That's not a spoiler. I just don't want to know about who is still there or who's not.
Yeah.
Like, even food, I didn't bring it up because I didn't want to, like, go there. But, like, food was talking about GB Bebo contestant. And I'm like, well, now I know this person wasn't, like, offed on episode 1. Like, I just, like, have that information now, and I don't fucking want it.
You don't know that.
How do you have that information?
You're right. I don't know that.
You don't know
it's
that.
Probably likely.
No, I would push back against that very strongly. You don't know anything about when that person left just because someone just told your brother he looks like him. That show's on demand all the time, as you know from the fact that you haven't watched it yet, which means that person could have been on episode 1 when they made that connection.
You're right. Okay, fine. See, this is why I didn't bring it up.
Because you knew you'd be wrong.
Because you're wrong.
Yeah. Exactly right. Anyway.
Okay, wait.
Listen, I accidentally spoiled an entire GB Bebo season for myself, so I'm still kind of reeling from that.
Dad accidentally... wait, am I misremembering this to make it more favorable to me? One of us...
You've done this before, in fact.
When the new... I know Harry Potter is verboten now, and I'm on board with that, but back when J.K. Rowling was not a known turf yet, we used to get like 2 to 3 copies of that book every July when they came out, like the new one. And at one point, we were standing in the kitchen at my parents' house, and one of us, either Dad or me, announced the biggest twist in the like second to last book aloud, and the other person had not read it yet. And I now cannot remember whether I did that to him or he did that to me.
I love that. Memory is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Well, Uncle Brown, please weigh in.
Yeah.
Did you ruin Hannah's life, or did Hannah ruin your life? We're just quite unsure.
I think it was it was the...
My dad will try to do that where he'll try to retell embarrassing stories as if my mom had done something embarrassing in an attempt to rewrite our memories, which I think is actually a beautiful strategy and can probably work very well.
It can work.
Except I'm onto it.
Memories.
Yeah.
Listen, I have a hot take regarding GB Bebo spoilers.
Okay.
I don't feel like...
I think I have a feeling Erin's about to
like...
be attacked. I just want to put that on the record.
No,
okay.
I mean, this is kind of how I feel about spoilers in general. I don't generally care about spoilers like at all, because the thing I care about when I'm watching something like GB Bebo is not knowing who goes home or who becomes Star Baker at the end. I just care about like watching them all make nice food. And the knowing who goes home at what point doesn't affect that at all for me.
Yeah,
really.
I agree with that.
That's not a hot take. I feel like that's like a personal preference. You're just stating your personal preference and calling it a hot take.
Are you playing with matches again?
Yeah, I am. It does. it does really. I hate it. Like I accidentally, like I literally like saw who won an entire season accidentally before I watched the season, and then like at the first episode of the season I saw that person and I was like, God damn it.
Really?
And the whole time it really sucked because I always knew, like, in moments of suspense I was like, well, they're fine, you know, but
are you watching it for the moments of suspense?
I'm watching it for a lot of different reasons, but it took a little bit of it away from me. I was really bummed out about it. Like, the whole time I was really bummed out about it.
I think this...
Not like... I watched the whole thing and fucking loved it. But I'm just saying, like, I don't like it, and I think that I wish I were that way, but I'm you know, like that you are, Ben, but I'm just not.
Yeah, this is, like, a thing. I think, like, maybe it's a lawful good thing because Ian is similar. Like, I've talked before about the whole, like, Marvel movie thing where, like, he tries to avoid spoilers for that, and, like, Star Wars, even though we rarely get out in any decent amount of time to see them, back when going to the movies used to be a thing. But, like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care really at all. Like, I'm... Which probably does indicate that it probably was me who ruined it for Dad, honestly.
You come by it honest via Aunt Brown, I feel like.
I don't know. I mean, I try to be respectful of other people's boundaries on it. I think it's kind of hard when you are the way that Ben and I are to understand what those boundaries are going to be. I think I'm better at it than my mom is, or I try to be. But, like,
Kylie cares so much about spoilers that I came in and was watching her play Hades, and she was at a spot that she, like, had already escaped and I hadn't yet, and so I was seeing some things that were spoilers, but I didn't care at all. But she hates them so much that she was, like, upset for me that I was seeing them.
Yeah, I relate to that.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Yeah, that sounds like it sucks. But yeah, you don't know anything about when that person did or didn't leave.
Okay. All right. Let's stop talking about it.
I'm just saying you don't.
Spoilers,
he's Irish.
I don't want to hear anything. I, like, don't want to hear anything about it. Let me unravel these mysteries.
I'm trying so hard to comprehend this, and I'm struggling so much.
It's just part of the experience. I don't know. You just... Like,
what's
think about
beautiful about it is that we don't have to understand it. We just have to
think about
respect
something.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Think about something that you like and I don't relate to. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna. You know.
I'm not.
You like it all the same.
I don't think either of us are saying we really want to spoil it for you.
I know.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I know you don't. You love me. You don't want me. You don't want to see me suffer.
I think
we're getting close though. When can we start watching it? I feel like
next week or
when
2
there's
weeks,
like
maybe.
I think it's the semifinal this week.
Okay, we might be able to start
maybe?
then. We're not going to get through it that fast.
No, it's a semifinal because it was the
night.
quarterfinal this week.
Like, yes, the one that came out yesterday was the quarterfinal.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe in a couple weeks will be good. Cool.
Well, no, the next one would be the semifinal. Like, this coming Friday would be the semifinal because this week.
Yeah, I think I could give it like a week. Like, I think there can be like one episode outstanding when we start it.
Yeah, so you could start it next Friday.
Right.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Let's see.
I'll tell Molly that you said so.
What?
I'll tell Molly that you gave us permission to start it next Friday.
Yeah. Tell her Hannah said. You can start it.
Hannah gave the green light. Hannah gave the Paul Hollywood handshake for
Paul.
starting it.
Oh, Paul. Okay. Cool. Let's do homework. My homework is listen to Qanon Anonymous, wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out their Patreon if you want.
Where we go one, we go all.
Where we go one, we go all. And don't clip that little bit out and call Ben and me conspiracy theorists or whatever. And Erin, do you know that slogan?
I love QAnon Anonymous.
That's the QAnon slogan. If you ever see people saying "where we go, when we go all," or there's this really bafflingly complicated bumper sticker some people have that says WWG the number 1 WGA, which is just like
It's also a hashtag. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it looks so stupid.
Wow.
But if you see that,
Why is that the slogan?
that's just the slogan. There's like this a while back. There was this thing, this like almost like QAnon challenge thing that was going on in those circles where they were making like a pledge. It was like this written out pledge that people were posting themselves taking. It was like all this patriotic bullshit and it ended with where we go when we go all. And I think the slogan existed before that, but that kind of cemented it as a thing they say to each other. So,
wow.
There you go. More stuff. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch at Hanthropology. And that's it. Erin, what's your homework?
What's up? My homework is to take your weird brain or your wild brain, excuse me, and read Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. And when you have done that, you may then, I think probably you have to purchase the Sarah Waters miniseries, the Fingersmith miniseries on the BBC via Amazon or wherever. And then you may also watch The Handmaiden. And you may do those things, but not before you read Fingersmith. Okay. You can find my Lesbian Lending Library catalog online at lesbianlendinglibrary.com. And what else about me? I think that's all.
What else about me?
What else about me? If I make that noise, two things happen in my house. One is Squeaks comes running and starts nuzzling me, and the other one is Ian really hates it a lot. So
Good stuff.
yeah, she loves high-pitched noises. Ben, what's your homework?
Watch The Queen's Gambit I almost said on Twitter, on Netflix. Follow me on Twitter, nicely proved, Ben. My Twitch is Disco Greg. I'm gonna maybe stream soon, but I always say that, and then I never do, so we'll see.
Sometimes you do.
Sometimes I do.
It.
Sometimes he stream.
I'm not beholden to anyone. I can stream whatever the fuck I
know,
want.
but you...
It's his free time.
What?
It's my goddamn...
It's his free time.
It's his free time. Oh, I gotta show you something, Ben. I thought of you, and then I didn't send it to you. And I'll mention it now for the cool people who listen all the way to the homework. There's these really cool creators we like on YouTube called Evan and Caitlin, and they just made a custom computer case that they then sent off to somebody who put the computer parts inside of it, and it's a cool video.
They should have built it themselves.
Yeah. But
wow,
they didn't. Here, I'm going to send it to you. Hold on.
God.
Hold on.
Rude.
There you go. That's for you. Okay. And if you want to call us or text us as a podcast, leave us a voicemail or a text, you can do that at 774-326-0420.
Blaze it.
Blaze it.
Really was fighting back that burp, that whole line. Okay. And then if you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at 2BroadPod. If you want to follow us on Instagram, we're way too broad on Instagram. You can... What was there? Our email address is waytoobroad@gmail.com. And you can also find any of the links to things that we said there would be links for and all our contact information and stuff at our website at waytoobroad.com for anything you want. earnben.com for anything you need. Maybe we should refresh those pictures because every time I go to that website now, I see, like my face is like my face, whatever. But that's my office for the worst job I ever had.
Oh. Yeah, send me new pictures. Send me a new pic. I'll get that updated. I'll do that today.
Okay, cool. And, okay, and then,
I want a similar energy.
Yeah, totally.
But, honestly, up to you.
Okay.
Actually, I don't need a similar energy. I need whatever energy you want to bring to earnben.com, bring it.
Anything that I need at earnben.com. And visit maxfun.org for a cute dog on a boat. And that's it. So the podcast candle. Oh, by the way, I don't know what the fuck happened the last 2 weeks. The music started like way later than I originally placed it. And I do apologize for that to anybody that noticed that the music was not kicking in at the right time.
I was wondering if that was just intentional.
It was not just intentional. It was just accidental. But I did notice it this week, but then it was like I was so far along and it sounded okay, so I was just like, whatever. But
I have one more quick homework thing.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I had the idea to do this and I've been meaning to, and I just did it. That you can go to queerworksmap.com now, and it forwards over to this room research graph I've been putting together that kind of visually links references from gay books to other gay books and gay authors to other gay books, etc.,
Whoa.
etc. So, work in progress, but it's what I've got going on so far.
Neat.
So check it on out.
wow,
Okay, thanks.
cool. Wow, it's a whole thing. This looks like
Yeah, I didn't build this. This is a tool, room research, that I'm just utilizing, and you can click in and stuff and see references and stuff. Just working on it. Something I'm working on.
This reminds me of this meme.
You remind me of a girl that I...
Remind me of a meme.
Wait, no, that's wrong. Never mind.
Watching it anyway.
Anyway.
Watching it now. Watching the whole thing.
Anyway, the podcast candle is now extinguished. And now
Goodbye.
the music is playing, and I will make sure
Right,
that
now, sorry, hold on, don't play it. Okay, my next is extinguished too.
Okay, cool.
Right, now you can play the music.
Okay. Bye.